Okay, perfect. Okay, welcome everyone. Thank you so much for joining me. I am super excited to be here tonight. We are going to have a quick 20-minute fat loss masterclass where I'm going to give you the info of how I am working with this melt the fat method. And so I do not have a dedicated office. So if you hear a small child um, say mama or something like that, that's just because, we are work from home we are work from home people, but that does not negate the exciting information I am here to share with you. I have a really quick 20-minute class that we're going to go over that I'm going to cover, how you can lose this weight, the fat, excuse me, in a really easy, sustainable way, even with the busiest of schedules. My proven method and my system that works. My story, of course, some quick client results, and of course, how you can work with me for my private one-to-one coaching, and you can lose 7 to 10 pounds in 30 days guaranteed. Okay. So here, let's pull up my fancy screen here that I actually did do a screen share. And forgive me, I'm not the best technological savvy. So I'm going to find it here and we're going to present. Now, can everyone, let's see here. I'm just going to move this. And then I'm going to ask if everyone can see me. Oh, your screen sharing is paused. Hold on. I have to go back somewhere and I got to find it. Okay. 1 second. Okay. Present. Okay. Can you guys see that? Now, for whatever reason, I can't see the chat. Chat.
Yeah, I can see it.
Okay. Perfect. Okay. Okay. Awesome. Okay. Now, how do I go back to the screen sharing? Resume? Oh, very good. Perfect. Okay. Perfect. So melt the fat method. The 5 simply daily do's to lose weight and fat, keep it off, even with the busy of schedules. I'm Kimberly Jetty. I'm a licensed practice pharmacist for almost 20 years, which is crazy. I'm a pharmacist, a mom of three. I live on a farm. I have probably one of the busiest schedules. And I'm also a fat loss and lifestyle coach. And I'm here to help you. So let's see if I can figure out how to move to the next page. Oh, I have my mouse the wrong way. Let's see. So here we go. Okay. From pharmacist to fat loss coach, a little bit about my story. So I say from stuck to strong because I did manage to lose 31 pounds in 4 months. So a little bit of my backstory, maybe I was like you, maybe some of this is going to sound familiar, but for probably, I would say close to a couple years, I was really not feeling stuck in my weight. I was really happy. I honestly had never really stepped on a scale before. I didn't really know like what my number was. I wasn't really too concerned about that. But over the past of like 6 months, so now we're looking at like maybe September 2024 to like March of like 2025 of this year, I started to notice a few kind of things. Maybe you are familiar with these. I noticed that some of my clothes didn't fit, but I was kind of thinking that I was like doing everything right. I was eating clean, I was following a workout program. I was thinking I was like getting my protein in. I'd been involved in a few of these like 10-day and 30-day challenges where I really was dedicated to them, like or else at least I thought I was. And to be honest, none of it really produced much results. Like I didn't necessarily like feel bad. I still had like a little bit of stress and things like that going on. But for overall, I felt like I was living a fairly good lifestyle in terms of like clean. Like I was really trying to like minimize my sweets and do different things like that. And then what happened was in March, I was actually looking at going to a conference and I needed clothes to wear. And so if you see in that picture with my sports bra, that's a pair of jeans that I bought in April of 2023 that fit me relatively perfectly. And I went to actually go to put them on because I was kind of just like doing my thing. I was like in cozy stuff all the time because maybe I really subconsciously was feeling a little bit uncomfortable. I went to put them on, and no word of a lie, I barely got them done up. Not only did I barely get them done up, but I couldn't sit down in them. Like without like I couldn't sit down in them. Like I thought to myself, like, if I am going to go to this conference, I'm going to have to buy new clothes, which was in a month. I was like, I'm not going to be able to sit on a plane and wear these pants. Like I literally had nothing in my closet that was going to fit me. And I was sitting in my kitchen. I was on my third piece of toast with peanut butter. Yes, because that was my breakfast of champions, toast with peanut butter, getting the protein in. And I had seen some of my friends who'd had really success with nutrition coaching online. And I finally just said, fuck it. Excuse my words. I need to do something. So I kind of call it like my F it moment where I was like, something here needs to change. And maybe you're having that too, where you're feeling like, I'm lost. I've tried different things because I had tried different things in the past. And honestly, nothing really seemed to work. Like maybe I'd budge like a few pounds on the scale. But if you ask me, Kim, what did you do to lose the weight? I would have no idea what to tell you what I did. And so I started. In this time, I started. I learned. I took some courses. I also felt an obligation as a pharmacist to learn from a professional viewpoint of how is this working with kind of like a lot of Ozempic circulating around. And I did it the old-fashioned way. I stuck to it. I trusted the process, and I lost this 31 pounds in 4 months. And I'm proud to say I have kept it off because I have developed a lifestyle, not a diet. So from that, I started to create this method where I called melt the fat. And where did the melt the fat come from? Because when people were asking me what I was doing, I was telling them, you know what, like I've been following this program. I'm now teaching it, and I'm like, and literally the fat just melted off. And so it was a lot of verbiage that I used. So that's where it came from. And now I'm helping women do the same. So why you might feeling stuck. So I feel like a lot of women, when I'm talking to my prospective clients, these are kind of a lot of the very common things I'm hearing. One is inconsistent eating. So I call it like eating under pressure. So say, for example, you're on your lunch break, you're so hungry. You go and you just grab something quick and easy, probably a sandwich, maybe like a salad. Yes, a salad. You go and you grab it and you eat it really you like really fast because you've had a very busy morning, you didn't know what to do. That often leads to things like underfueling. So that little salad that you got probably had zero protein in it, or you packed yourself some sad spring salad, the spring mix that always rots at the back of the fridge, with a tiny little bit of protein. And honestly, it's just not enough. The biggest thing that I'm seeing from women and my clients, because one of the very first things that we do is we do a food logging of just a really, honest snapshot of what's happening in your day, is they are drastically under eating. Because I feel like maybe from a little bit of culture back in the day, we felt like, women, or we eating less leads to fat loss. And what I'm here to kind of flip that around to tell you is that it doesn't necessarily mean that you're not going to lose the fat, but it definitely means it's going to make it a lot harder. And so underfueling, a big one. Too much stress. So maybe feeling, like I said, that stress under pressure in, you're not having meal prepping, or your meal prepping you think has to be some huge Sunday reset, which I'm going to tell you, part of my program, it does not have to be. Eating under pressure, that's what, like I call it, going through drive-throughs because you need something quick and easy because you don't feel prepared. And the big thing is no structure. So you honestly just don't really know what you should be doing. And that's like I felt all of these, and basically all of my clients tick at least 3 out of 4 of these off. And I'm here to say that it's not willpower. And it's not your metabolism, because that can be very easily like regenerated and fueled up to help you lose that fat. You're just missing a simple system, like that structure of focusing on just the 5 daily things that we're going to walk through that help you get to your main goal. And when I work with my clients, that's the first thing I say is like, we're just going to work on the first few things. Like we're just concentrating on these. We're getting through our day. It's just a day by day process. And our goal is there, but working through these little daily things, is what's going to get us there. So your body, it gets under stress. It doesn't know when to burn. It doesn't know when to store fat. And so you're kind of like doing a big loop-de-loop all like this with your metabolism, and your blood glucose level, which is really key, that I'm going to chat about really quickly. So you're just kind of hanging out in la la land. So one thing, the truth about fat loss, and I know this, some people might think this is a little bit bold, but it's not hard. And that's one thing that I learned when I started working through this system, is that it really wasn't hard. It was different, but in terms of hardness, you've probably birthed a baby. You have probably like done some really hard things in your life. This is not hard, like compared to that. It is a mental game because you are changing your lifestyle. But the really core what it comes down to is not a hard thing to do. You might just not have that structure. You might not have that framework that you can look back on, or that accountability that you really need. So when you start giving your body that consistency, you start giving it less stress. So it kind of knows what's happening with food, with movement and rest. Yes, I say rest because that's a very crucial part of this process. It knows exactly what to do, right? That's why I call it the melt the fat method. We do 5 simply daily do's that will fit into your real life. And if any, I can be any attestament to that. 31 pounds in 4 months with 3 kids, working 32 hours a week, running a 6-figure online business, a husband that owns a construction business. We have a farm, we have animals that we look after. Like, if I can do this, you can do this. And I'm going to give you a really great success story about a couple of my clients here. And they, again, busy, busy schedules. So we're getting right into the meat of this, guys. We're not wasting any time. So you know exactly what to expect, because I was just chatting with Steph on here, is that I feel like you need to know, you don't need more information. You just need to know how to apply that information. So what is this melt to fat framework? So the big thing is that we do work on tracking your macros. And so I'll be honest, when I started this, I had no idea what macros was. I had never heard of it. I thought it was like, are we eating like macaroons? I didn't really know. But all I knew is that I had this like this number, this ratio of protein, carbs, and fats that I used in my fitness tracker. And yes, we do use a fitness tracker for the first 4 to 6 weeks, or a log tracker. And that is because you have to know what's going into your food. Like, just think of it as like a roadmap. Like, you don't just jump in a car and drive somewhere that's unknown. Like, you need to have, first of all, a little bit of like what's going on. So we do that before you start, to see where you're at. And you need to know like what's happening, because when you know what's happening with those three main macros, you're going to be able to balance your plate without calorie obsession. So that's exactly what we're looking at. And you're going to learn how this food affects you. You're going to learn how to look at, a protein serving and know that, oh, that's lots. You're going to know how to be like, maybe that's a bit too much carbs. You're going to learn, the food value of systems, and how it affects your system, and that like a green apple tastes way better than a cookie. Like, you're going to learn all of this stuff. So this gives you that foundational thing. And like, for me, I was like, this is just the hugest pain in the ass. Okay. Totally. I was like, when someone told me that part of this process was to learn how to track your food, I was pretty much almost an instantly out, because I was like, there ain't no way I'm going to be putting my food in this little thing here. Right. It seemed overwhelming. And I'm just being honest with you. But the thing is that I did the first 3 days, and it was like, it was an instant wow. Okay. Way over in carbohydrates. Protein that I thought I was hitting on the nail, which of 138 grams is what I needed. I was maybe at a 60. Fats way over. And I was like, well, no wonder I feel lethargic. No wonder I'm getting this 3 p.m. slump. No wonder I feel like I have no energy. And no wonder I feel like I have the softness everywhere, because I was nowhere near what I was needing for my body composition in those three main ones. So the first 3 days we do that. And then we continue onwards with an app. It is free, that you don't have to pay for, to learn how this works. And we really work on hitting that protein target first. The main thing is because when we're deal with fat loss versus weight loss, so we're working on losing fat cells, we want to lose the fat by maintaining muscle mass. So when you maintain muscle mass, and losing fat. So sometimes you hear weight loss, hear fat loss. I'm talking specifically about fat loss, because having that high protein intake, or the right protein intake for your body, and then losing the fat, will maintain muscle. And when you maintain muscle, your metabolism is going to speed up. And what's going to happen is that your body's going to start burning like fat and storing things at a better rate. So we want to lose fat, but maintaining muscle by working with the protein. And it also comes down to strength training exercises too, which is part of it as well. So balance plate and portions. So we're learning to build meals within this ratio that we use. And it's a very specific one that I use for this program that fit for your goals. Okay. We do something called the 5-hour rule. So this is new for some people, but it's actually no snacking. So the reason for this being is that every time you eat this, and this is again why this comes down to body physiology, is that every time you eat, your body releases insulin to take the food, like the blood glucose, excuse me, from your food out of your system and store it. So every time you have like a like kind of snapshot, like a snacking in between, like a sugary snack. Your body takes that and it puts it somewhere. It might not need it for energy. So what does it do? It stores it as fat. So when you're actually giving your body enough time to first burn off the fuel that you've used within the first 3 hours, so the protein and everything that you've eaten, and the next 4 to 5 hours to really start to like burn off like the fat because it needs something to use for energy, you're going to start to find that your body is going to start burning and losing the weight, losing the fat cells without losing the muscle. So you're going to be getting a very even, stable blood sugar level, and that's key to fat loss. It's going to help you feel more energetic. It's going to help stop the binging, also because we're eating more protein at each meals, and we're actually going to just start actually having overall like fat loss going down at a very sustainable rate. This for some people can be a little bit of a harder one because we're so used to putting stuff into our mouth all the time. And this is actually where a few of some key supplements that I do recommend, but you don't need, actually come into play because they help with your water intake. They help with decreasing that hunger cue slightly. And it also helps keep your protein intake up. And just know that between this, when I'm working with my clients, if there's a particular area where you are really struggling with this 5 hour rule, we look back at what's happening. Are you really struggling? You know, you eat your dinner, your breakfast at like 7:30, and then you're going to have your lunch at 12:30. Is it really tough for you? We're going to see what's happening at breakfast and trying bumping up that protein, maybe adding a slight bit of a more fat for you so that you have a little bit more of kind of like cushion there. Is it something in the afternoon? Well, what does your lunch look like? You know, can we kind of like manage that and then go back from there? So, and in the beginning, when we're working one-to-one together, there is tweaking. And that's where this becomes so valuable because you're going to learn these types of things. And then you just kind of keep going forward. Like it's actually a really beautiful process that I really enjoy helping people through. The next one is prepping, and also I get access to your food log, so I'm able to like review and see what's going on for you. So don't worry about that. You're not left on your own. Prepping realistically, again, this is a thing. No Sunday meal marathons because we ain't got time for that. I teach my clients to prep kind of two things at a time. Do a protein and a veggies at a time. Build your meals for the next couple days. Log them so you know where you're at, and keep things really simple. So yet you're not having that under pressure. You're not oh, I forgot my lunch, which could happen, but then I have takeout meals and things on the go that kind of keep you on track. I have all of that sheets for you. I have my favorite Starbucks drink, Chopped Leaf drink, things that you can purchase at the grocery store and make a meal together. If you're kind of like short on time, I have things that I just love to like grab and go that are really easy. But I want to keep things simple for you. So, because I know I don't personally have time to be doing 3 to 4 hours of prep on a Sunday, but I do have time to make more dinner and then have a protein for the next couple lunches. I do have time to prep 2 yogurt bowls for my breakfast for the next day. I do have time to like chop up some salad and have that in a fridge so I can just grab that high volume salad, mix it with my protein and go. Okay. So we're keeping things simple because I know you have a super busy life. Accountability and mindset. This is the big one. I just had my client renew for me because she said the accountability is what has kept her going. So I'm in your corner daily. We have two daily check-ins, one in the morning for your weight, one in your morning in the one in the evening so I can kind of check out your food log. And they're very simple and easy and consistent, and a little bit of tweaking that's going back and forth. But let me tell you, I'm going to share my client's results in just a second. It has been huge for her. And she said the accountability is what's keeping me there. So these really small 5 actions, this is the backbone of your results. And if you are ready, you're willing, you're committed, and you're appreciate accountability, this program and me and my coaching are 100% for you because I am here coaching you through this and you are following the framework that I've developed, but ultimately it's you that is doing this. I just want you to know that I'm not here to shame. I'm not here to make you spiral or guilt or anything like that. I know there's real life. There's going to be things that are going to come up like dinners, things out. And I'm helping my client right now navigate something that's coming up in 2 weeks. She's already asked me about it. And I've told her like these are kind of little things that we can do. But I'm like, you know what? At the end of the day, I was like, this is a lifestyle. And so if something happens, like It's not a huge deal, okay? You move on, it's a blip and you keep going. That because that's what we're doing. You're not missing pizza nights, you're not missing kids' birthday dinners, you're not going out for dinner because of this stuff. You're just going to like eat mindfully and move on and get right back into your plan. Thanksgiving, Christmas, all that kind of stuff. Enjoy your time with your family. Pick protein and veggies first, excuse me. Eat mindfully, don't go back for a second helping, wait a few minutes and then just move on and enjoy your life because that's what's going to keep you feeling really good and fulfilled and not feeling like shameful. So that's the big thing. You don't need perfection, you just need consistency. So how this would fit into your life, real life over perfect life. I'm just like huge on this lifestyle. I encourage people 10 to 15-minute workouts per daily or any kind of movement. So we're talking about walking. I use a weighted vest, strength training exercises, no 1 to 2 hours in the gym or having extended cardio because that also will spike your hunger. Because a way that this is also working is that we are in a calorie deficit, even though we're not counting calories. We are, in we're calories in, calories out, right? We are in a calorie deficit. We are keeping things on like an even keel for your body composition. So you don't need to be doing that. You want to have your body rest. You want to have easy macro balanced meals that I help you with. Simple mindset practices, and that's where you and I go back and forth with the encouragement. And then, of course, if you choose to, products that can support your energy and recovery, and the things that I use and I recommend. And I'm going to show those to you in just a minute. So it's not about another diet. It's about honestly building a structure that fits into your lifestyle, not forcing your life to fit a plan. And that's why this system has worked. Before I started my one-to-one coaching, I did groups with this. And I walked 40 women through this program and it works long term. And I know this because it's happening in me, it's happening in my clients. And this is just, I think the next one is a little bit of a client result. So, okay, she said down 10 pounds in 4 weeks. So actually this ended when I made this slideshow, it was actually last Friday, but she's down to 164.2 this morning, I think it was. So exactly how many pounds is that? I think that's like almost 10. Um, I'm gonna do the math here. Do the math here, Kim. She's not starving. Some of her results from me have been that she doesn't feel like she has as many cravings. She's feeling, she's got her step count up. Oh God. 8 pounds. She's lost 8 pounds. Yes. Um, sorry, I made a typo there. Down 8 pounds in 4 weeks. She doesn't have a cravings for sugar cravings. Like we navigated Halloween for her, and she's like, honestly, I don't even feel like I want to eat it anymore. And I was like, wow, like that's awesome. Because also what happens is that you do get a little bit of a rewiring of your brain chemistry, and that becomes from like you're just eating differently. You're just your lifestyle has changed, and for all of us here who are moms. I know that's a big thing. Like we lead the charge for our family. And one thing that I do hear from some people is like, I'm trying to get, have less sugar in my home. I'm trying to have more balanced meals. Like I sometimes feel like all over the place about things. And you know what? You lead the charge. And when your lifestyle changes, your whole family lifestyles changes. And the meals that we have with my kids right now are a little bit different. Like there's a lot more, like I can tell I'm even giving them less carbs and more vegetables, right? Because I don't eat anything different than them. I might make my portions a little bit different, but I don't eat any different food. I ain't making two different meals for me and for my kids, right? I might cook a little bit more veggies for myself, have a little bit less carbohydrates, but everything is still the same because you don't need to be doing that. Also, a big thing is you don't need to be buying any funny foods, fat-free foods, low-fat foods. Like, don't be buying any of that. Just fit it into what's going to work for you and enjoy it. So that's kind of what I say. So this is my offer for you. So I do a 30-day private coaching. It's $197 for that 30 days. This gives you the personalized support, the accountability, and this proven method that I've just discussed. So I just have to say, if you've been trying to do this on your own, like I was, this is your sign. You don't need another diet. You need the structure. You need accountability and a coach who knows where you are. And that's why my private coaching will work for you. So I'm excited. I'm taking on 8 more clients for this month. So if that is you, I suggest you kind of get into it and nab one of those spots up before they're gone, because I did a soft launch in October, but I am ready to take it to the next level. And you get support behind the scenes via emails, how to set everything up. You get a private little ebook about that kind of goes through all of this framework, so you don't feel like you have to remember anything. It's printable. And then, of course, the you and I that are talking one-on-one every day. So what you get your personalized plan, daily check-ins, meal and protein cheat sheets. So some people have asked me about specific meal plans, and I don't have specific meal plans. And here's the reason why. Because everyone is individual about what they're eating with their body composition, their fitting into the macro ratio, and what their targeted weight loss is. And so if your weight loss is like 10 pounds, like that's very easily achievable in 30 to 45 days. If it's 30 pounds, that could take a few 4 months. I don't want you to be feeling like you're living off of a sheet for those 4 months. I want you to be able to live your life, and learning through the food log, learning how foods affects your body, getting that awareness is going to give you that empowerment and confidence, so that you don't have to be like, oh, this isn't on my meal plan. I don't know if I can eat this. Like, you can eat whatever you like. You just got to fit it in, and you learn that by doing this food log, is that chocolate bar that you really loved does not work. Okay, maybe sometimes, but not all the days. So I give you meal ideas, and then you tweak them according to what's going to fit for you. Access to my framework, and of course, I'm here in your corner supporting you daily. So you'll know exactly what to do every day. No guessing, no confusion. You have the structure, and it's exactly the same process that's helped me and many others finally lose this fat and feel great. Things that you can support your journey. I always share these because these are what I use, what I love, and I am an independent consultant with Arbonne. And so this is an add-on that you can purchase if you like, is the Essential Meal Protein. So this is a 25 grams of protein now. Actually, it's a perfect macro balance of carbs, proteins, and fats. It's got avocado oil in it that helps support you for that satiating meal. And it's my favorite thing that I add to my yogurt bowl. And just a little kind of side note is that my one client did not use it for the first 2 weeks. And then she's like, you know what? We were noticing that she was having a lot of problem with her breakfast meal, and things that she was using were just there's too high in carbs, too high in fat. She didn't really like Greek yogurt all that much. So I said, why don't you just try this? Add it in. And immediately she's like, I love this. She's like, this has helped. This has really helped me. So it's there to use as an add-on, and you can use it if you like. Energy Fizz, I love this because it helps decrease your cortisol. It's a better replacement than coffee or pop. And of course, I do suggest no pop, no Diet Coke or anything like that. I had a Diet Coke occasionally, but no pop. And the things that you can have in between that 5-hour rule is just like a black coffee if you want, a black tea. And then, of course, the Energy Fizz I love. It's less than 1 gram of sugar. And just as an added note, some people who have been dealing with some inflammatory issues, I do also suggest that we cut back on inflammatory foods like gluten and dairy. And that's everyone's personal choice. I didn't have much dairy personally myself, and gluten, I just really minimized it. And so I just made healthier choices in that way. But that's definitely something that we can talk about an individual plan. Then the Green Synergy Elixir. This one, I have had most clients add on for sure, simply because their diet has changed slightly. So they might be getting a little bit more fruits and vegetables than they're used to. This has digestive enzymes, pre and probiotics, which really work for their gut health, which helps produce good feelings. It helps with your good energy. It helps minimize. It's got collagen in it that helps fix that little lining in there. And a lot of people love this because it's really great for that morning 5-hour rule when they might be feeling, a little bit like they're used to that 10 o'clock snack. People tell me, they're like, I grab a Green Synergy. It tastes like lemon iced tea with a natural lemon flavor. I throw a fizz in it. It's like my second cup of coffee, and I feel awesome. So these are products that you can add on if you like. And I do have a link and a package that that I'm able to supply you with for that. So with that, that is everything. Thank you guys so much for joining me. So if you're ready, let's melt the fat together. I can simplify this for you. You can feel confident again and actually stick to it. I'll have a link that I can set up for this and we can set you up for the next 30 days and we're going to get going. Okay. And these are my results too. Okay. These are not my full results, but I just want to show you that this was only 21 days apart of me starting this. And you can see the difference in my stomach already. Okay. Like huge difference. So this was like from the beginning of March to April. So in this picture, the one with the blue bra, I was actually able to put my jeans someone on, a little bit uncomfortable, but I could actually do them up and somewhat sit down in them. So I did make some progress even in 3 weeks that my jeans could actually go up. And the picture I put in the very beginning where I'm wearing that black top, I had actually lost a full 31 pounds. That was when I hit my goal weight. So that's all. Thank you guys for coming. I'm going to stop the screen share and I'm going to stop recording.